Well, hello everyone, and thanks for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner. In today's Quick Tip Thursday, episode number 9, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to give you some tips for traveling. Now, I recently returned from Australia and I have been fortunate enough to travel quite a bit in my life. And I've picked up what I feel are some really good travel tips. So let me share them with you. First of all is these bags that I found off of Amazon. And everything that I show you, I'm going to link in the description below. These are called vacuum storage bags. And a lot of times previously, when you used a bag like this, you would need a vacuum. You don't need a vacuum for these. They come, let's see, how many does it say? You get quite a few. They're small, large, and extra large. But let me show you what you do. So this is one of them here, okay? And I'm just going to take some white little shirts and stick them in here. Now, if you were putting this in your suitcase, that would be quite bulky. Now, I know a lot of travel tips say roll them up. And yes, I've done that too, and it works. But look at this instead. Now, these bags are not the most sturdy in that this clip part here. Sometimes I have found that it falls off, but all you have to do is put it back on. So you just run this across and it kind of seals it. And then I kind of sometimes will do it a second time just to make sure that it is sealed. And watch this. And you're going to watch out this end. You hear that? All that air is coming out. So then I just kind of flatten it out and I do it again. Look at that. Look at how much smaller that is and compact. And it protects your clothes too. Let's see if we can get a little bit more out. I know that's probably quite loud. But yeah, look at the difference in that and how small and compact that is. So that's one of my first tips. And then when you need whatever clothes you're going to use, all you do is pull it open and watch the air comes back and your clothes are protected from getting water on them. It's also good if you were had a wet swimsuit, it would protect your swimsuit. One of the most important things that I learned over my years, you know how in hotels they give you a shower cap? Well, who uses a shower cap? And unfortunately, sometimes some hotels don't give you shower caps anymore. But you know what these are good for? You're going to love this. So when you are packing your shoes, and the bottoms of your shoes are dirty, let me just pull these out. Look at how dirty the bottom of those shoes are. This is all you have to do. Slip your shoes inside a shower cap like that, and it protects your clothes from being dirty. So never throw out your shower caps. One of the other things you need is a nice, sturdy purse for traveling. I have this one. It has those nice straps that are impossible for a knife to cut. The one thing I really also like about this one is the inside of it has this that is attached. So you when you're using it, you're not going to drop this. And this is what I carry my money in, my currency. It's got a place for your cards and cash. And then I always also carry a small little coin purse so that I'm not digging for the coins. And I just leave it in there. And when I exchange my currency from American dollars, I will put my American dollars over in this zip pocket way back here, along with my passport, and zip it up. And then it's secure. And then whatever currency I'm using, it's here. And so I can just pull it out, get whatever money I need. And then over here in this zip pocket is where I'll keep, like, Kleenexes or hand sanitizer or something like that. So I really do like this bag. The other thing that I do is sometimes when you're at the airport, you want to drink and you don't have the currency that you need. Now, it's a little bit easier now because everybody seems to use charge cards, and you just tap when you want to buy something. But I do, when I come back from a country, especially Europe where you're going to use euros, I don't convert back my euros into my American dollars because I know I will be going back to Europe and I will be able to use this money. So I just save this and stick it in with my travel stuff. Another thing that I found this year, and this was the first time I used it, I did insert a picture so you can see it on my suitcase. But it is something that hooks onto the handle of your suitcase, and it's a cup holder. So, say for instance, if you carry one of these bottles in the airport, it slips in there. And say for instance, if you also then had a cup of coffee, then it would slip in there. And then it also has this little pocket here if you wanted to slip in, a piece of paper, maybe your passport, but then it slips right over the handle of your bag that you're walking through the airport, and it's fantastic. This was such a good little purchase. And again, I don't recall it being very expensive. I bought one for my son-in-law and my daughter for Christmas. And look, once you're done wherever you're traveling to, you can just fold it up, and it's quite compact, and it will stick in the corner of a suitcase until you need to use it again going through the airport. Now for the things to actually take on the airplane with you. One is I always have a neck pillow. I try to make sure that my flights are at night so that as soon as that first meal is served, I go to sleep and I can sleep a really long time on a plane. And wherever I arrive, then I've already had a good night's sleep. And I like this one because it folds up within a bag. So that's the first thing you need. The second thing is always wear layers, not leathers. Where the heck that came from, who knows? Layers. I always wear a short sleeve shirt because you never know if the plane is going to be hot. But then I always bring some kind of a jacket to be able to put on if it's cold. The other thing is because you sit so long, you really should wear some kind of anti-emboli socks, the kinds that nurses wear. These go up to my just below my knee, and they help with the circulating of blood. So that's one thing I do. The other thing I always do, now I'm not gonna, this is not medical advice. You can do it if you want, but this is what I do. Because your blood tends to clot if you sit for a really long time, especially on an airplane, I take one baby aspirin before I get on the plane. That's not gospel. That's just what I do. I also make sure that I have all the medications that I might need for my trip. For instance, I make sure I have some Kleenex. I have a history of asthma, so I make sure I have all my asthma medications with me. If you're diabetic, make sure you have your diabetic medication with you. I have a mask. I have cough drops. For an allergic reaction, I have some Benadryl. I also have, this is Zofran. This helps for if you're vomiting. I have cough drops. I usually keep also some antacids. This is the one I keep for actually traveling, but then with me all the time in my purse is this little bag. And it's got, again, the aspirin's going to go over in the other one. Don't need that. But I get leg cramps. This helps with leg cramps. This is fantastic. These little things, if you get a stain on your shirt, you can just use this and it'll help get the stain out. I have a little container, like I said, of antacids, some flossing things. Make sure you always have a chapstick. Again, medication for my leg cramps. A small enough clipper for your nails, a nail file, a mirror, lipsticks, stuff like that. And then I always make sure that I have Tylenol and Advil or Motrin. That's the same thing. That's always with me. And then also for traveling, I make sure that I have a hand sanitizer with me. I bone up also on my vitamin C. I usually take 2,000 milligrams before my trip and every day that I'm on my trip, just to bone up my immune system, because there's nothing worse than getting sick on a trip. And then this is something, if you think you have air sickness, meclizine, it's over the counter. Another name for it is, I think, Boni, B-O-N-O-I, O-N-E. It's over the counter. You used to have this to get a prescription. You used to have a prescription to get this, but it's over the counter. So if you think you're going to get motion sickness, that's something you should have. A couple of the other things that I like to have with me on the airplane. Now, this is from Delta, but you can only get it if you buy a Comfort Plus ticket. It gives you a little bit more leg room, but if you're flying economy, I don't think you get this. But I didn't use it this time because I had one already. But what it is I think there's one more thing in here. No? I guess that's it. I thought that, yes. So there's earplugs. Make sure you always have some earplugs and a small little toothbrush and toothpaste. Look at how small that toothpaste is. Because when you're on a flight, I think my flight to Australia was 19 hours. That's a really long time to go without brushing your teeth. And since I already had one of these from another trip, I'll just save this for future. And again, those. Now, the eye masks, the one that they give you usually with this kind of kit is flimsy and not the best. Let me tell you what you should invest in. This, I'm just going to throw away. I'm going to show you the difference. This is from a night nurse. And when you're a night nurse, you sleep during the day because you're awake all night working. It had some little earplugs. Look at the difference in this eye mask. So this one's got padding all the way around it. So it really shuts out all light. And it's very, very comfortable. You could actually open your eyes up with it on and your eyelashes won't touch that. So look at the difference between the two. So this is just going to go in the trash. It's not good. Again, I will link this one. This one's fantastic. I used this all the time while I was working night shift, and it's a lifesaver. The other thing is I always pack a pair of ballerina slippers because I wear sturdy shoes on the plane and traveling, but once I'm ready to settle down and go to sleep, I want my feet to be comfortable, and so I pack these. These are really nice and small. I again get those from Amazon. And then the other thing I do, and again, you would have to decide this on your own, I get a prescription from my doctor for sleeping pills. That way, whenever I get on the plane, like I said, you're served your first meal, and then you have sometimes 10 hours, 12 hours, a long time before your next meal is served. And if I take a sleeping pill, put my eye mask on, my earplugs on, my pillow around my neck, a blanket that the airline gives you, and I don't fly first class. Personally, I don't have the money to fly first class. I would have to be extremely rich to want to fly first class. I did fly first class one time, and I didn't think it was worth the money. Yes, I got to lay down, but I mean, I don't think the food was that much better. And yeah, you didn't have people that close, but I could spend a couple of $1,000 elsewhere, shopping, craft supplies. I don't need to lay down on a flight. These are pretty cheap and I can sleep just fine. Again, being a night nurse, I can sleep sitting up. So I know I was one time on a flight to Vietnam, and the lady sitting next to me after we had had our meal, and I did all my ritual of things and took my pill. When I woke up, it was 8 hours later, and she said to me, I have never in my life seen somebody sleep so long on an airplane. But again, I flew all night, which would have been nighttime, my American time. When I landed in Vietnam, I had 8 hours of sleep. I hit the road running, doing all the things, didn't waste a day, being so exhausted that I I couldn't, like, I have a whole wasted day. The other thing is, before I get on the flight that day, no caffeine. None whatsoever. That way I'm going to sleep well. Now, there's a couple of things that I do when it comes to packing makeup. Now, makeup brushes, I do keep them in a little pouch so that it doesn't get powder all over your bag where you keep all your makeup. And I cannot even remember where I found this brush, but this is a fantastic brush. I use it for my face powder because it is so compact and it goes like that. And I keep this in with all my travel supplies. I have different makeup brushes for everyday use. This is another thing that is a must have. You can buy these. I think I got this one at Walmart, but it's a toothbrush cover so that it protects your toothbrush from everything else that might be in your makeup bag. It's got little holes in it so that um, it can dry. Now, have you ever gotten somewhere and the makeup in your bag, whether it be your blush or your eye makeup, was completely broken up and crushed? This is what I do, is I either put something like a couple of Kleenexes or a cotton ball and then close the lid, and that protects that powder from getting cracked and all smashed up in your suitcase. Before you go on any trip, make sure you check the weather and that you are prepared for possibly rain. Always pack a small little umbrella. Not only will it help you if it rains, but if it's really sunny outside, it will give you some shade. Speaking of the weather, you will not believe what a lifesaver this little fan is. It folds up nice and compact. It has a rechargeable battery, and feel how strong, not feel, you guys can't feel, but listen how strong it is. This little fan saved me in Vietnam. And it was interesting. So I had this little fan going, and the people that were with me, they're kind of like looking at me like, you know, like I'm a goofball. And then I held it up to their face when we were in sweltering heat, and they go, oh my heavens, I wish I had one of those. Here's a quick picture that someone took of me with my fan in Vietnam. When I was in Singapore, I had one that actually was like an air conditioner that went around my neck. I didn't have to hold it, but it broke. It was given to me by a friend and it broke. So I need to if I go to another really hot and humid climate, I need to get another one of those. But this was very handy. The other thing is just a little fan. I think I did buy this in Vietnam, but look at how compact that is. So that is a helpful little thing to have. And what I do is I just keep all of these kinds of things in a little baggie in my travel uh, shelf in my closet. Yes, just a little baggie like this. The other thing is make sure that you have the electrical outlet converters from the country you live in to the country you're going to. And I have them labeled. That's my Europe one. I did buy 2 for Australia. And then this one was when I was in Singapore, and I also used it in Ireland. I know they have some that are a little bit bigger, and they, I think, will be for every country, but I don't have that. The other thing that I always keep too is whatever earplug for the sound system for the movies in each of the airlines, a couple of Delta, Eva Air, Icelander Air, because sometimes they don't have enough or they forget to give them to you, and it's a pain not to be able to watch a movie. Something else that I always keep in my travel closet is various sizes of bags, and everything from just this small little coin purse, different sizes of, like, for makeup. This one I had my jewelry in. Again, make sure that your jewelry, you carry it with you. If it's valuable jewelry, none of this is really valuable, so it wouldn't be a huge thing if I lost it, with the exception of some of it I've bought in different countries, and that would be, you know, sad for me to lose that jewelry from other countries. So I just carry that with me. But like, this is a little bag for your iPhone to protect it from water, and just all kinds of different, let me just bring that out, just different size bags. And this is like just a little purse for over the shoulder, but I keep all of these bags in my closet where I keep all my travel things. And you know, when you buy new sheets, they always come in some kind of a zipper bag. Let me see if I can get this. It's twisted. Yeah. They come in a zipper bag like this, and then it's just a nice place to keep them in your closet. Another thing you should always pack is just a small little bag to tuck in your purse for when you go shopping. A lot of places now are charging you for shopping bags, and this is quite a large bag that folds up really nice. Look at how big this is. And so I just carry this in my purse, and if I go shopping, then I've got a place to put whatever I purchase, and it folds up really nice and compact. Again, I'm not even sure where I got this one, but you can always probably go on Amazon. But see how nice it folds up, and then it just slips back into this little bag here, and I put it with my travel things. Yeah, right like that. So this shelf right here in my closet is where I keep all of my travel supplies. So when I need to pack for a trip, everything that I need or could want is right there, ready for my next adventure. Now, I'm sure you have heard me talk about my travel tree, and you've probably seen it in my craft room tour. But I try to pick something up to put on my tree from every place that I visit. And I loved this. This was absolutely perfect. It has a sailboat, a ferry, the opera house, the lighthouse, and the Sydney Harbor Bridge in the background. And I just added this trim to it, ran it through both ends of the bridge, and I will hang this from my tree, and it will be my remembrance of my wonderful time in Australia with some of the most fantastic people that are on the planet. Thanks so much for joining me at this quick tip Thursday, and I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks and bye-bye.